So, listen, we are here today because American families are struggling with high prices. We see it in our home states, we see it everywhere. And this is happening in red states, it's happening in blue states, it's happening everywhere in between. It's being felt across the country, and Americans, quite frankly, are sick of it. Now, we also know that President Trump said he'd lower American prices on day one when he got into office. Well, this is what, month 3 of this chaotic administration, and prices have only gone up. The outlook on our economy is worse than it's been in years. And between President Trump's funding freezes, mass firings, and completely baffling tariffs on our closest allies, it's not looking like things are going to get better anytime soon. And so it is important that we start focusing on our families and making sure that the focus stays with our families. And that's why it is important at the end of the day that we support not only the child tax credits that we see, but also the earned tax credits. Let me just say this. Expanding the child tax credits, as Senator Bennett is proposing, would be a lifeline for working families with children. It would help ensure all Americans have the resources they need to care for their kids. And for working families without children, we also need to consider their needs. And that's why the Earned Income Tax Credit is so important. Now, I call this the worker tax credit. These are individuals that are families. These are folks that do not have children, but they still are struggling. They're working hard, but they're still struggling at the end of the day. And so we've got to focus on them as well. And there are currently 6 million hardworking Americans who don't earn enough to support themselves and whose taxes are forcing them below the poverty line. They do their jobs every day, just like the rest of us, but sometimes they even have multiple jobs, and that's not enough. More working Americans need a tax break, and that's what this legislation does. This bill, the worker tax cuts bill that we are talking about, along with the child tax credits, the workers' tax bill, this bill cuts taxes for working class Americans without children, and that would include 160,000 Nevadans. It triples the average tax relief these Americans receive from the existing worker tax cut, and it extends the tax cut for workers under the age of 25 and over the age of 64. 2 groups that were previously ineligible for it. With costs skyrocketing right now thanks to the Trump administration, listen, millions of hardworking families, they deserve more money in their pocket. They deserve the priority of us to focus on how we keep their costs lower and focus on making their lives a little bit better. So I am pleased to join not only Senator Bennett, but all of my colleagues here in both houses and my colleagues who were before us fighting for this fight, like Sherrod Brown, and ensuring we're continuing to put the focus in this country on where we know it matters most, and that is to those hardworking individuals and families in this country. So thank you. We need to pass both these pieces of legislation.
We have the great